and I am the Center of Excellence lead for Entrepreneurship. I work in Fredericton and in St. John, and this is my dream job. I'm really excited to be doing this because I really promote financial literacy and entrepreneurship for students from K to 12. So who I'm working with today, her name is Haley Bungay, and she's the Vice President of Development and Communications for Junior Achievement. So I'm sure that you've heard of Junior Achievement before. Haley is a wonderful presenter, and she makes this lots of fun. So please join in. A couple of ways to participate. There is a little hand wave on Teams. So if your teacher wants to put up their hand, I can kind of go from class to class that way. Or if a student wants to come right up to the microphone, that's great too. Okay, so I'm going to hand things over to Haley and we'll get started.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. As Jill said, my name is Haley, and I work for Junior Achievement New Brunswick. And JA, or Junior Achievement, we are an organization that is dedicated to helping students just like you prepare to succeed in your future. So we're all about teaching you how to manage your money and how to prepare for your careers and how to figure out what you're going to do when you leave high school. So that's what we are. For the teachers on the call here today, this particular activity that we're going to do is one small piece of the larger program called Dollars with Sense. Jill will reach out to you later today or tomorrow just to thank you for joining us, and then I'll reply with the details on how to access the full program. These programs are completely free of charge to you, to your school, to your students. So we'd love for you to do this little lesson with us and then continue on and continue with the program. So as we mentioned, this is going to be a very interactive session. We want to hear from the students, so you can come up to the camera if you want. You can type in the chat if you'd like, but again, very interactive. So let's get started. Today is all about what makes you a smart shopper in an online world. And we're going to talk about different types of purchases you might buy. But what I really want to know first is what influences you when you go shopping or you want to buy something? What makes you want to go shopping, or what makes you want to buy something? So let's hear from some of the students. What makes you want to buy something, or what makes you want to go shopping?
Anyone?
I know it's early, but everybody likes to go shopping.
Oh, I see someone from Madame Legier's class coming up to the microphone, and it looks like it's muted. Madame Legier, your microphone. There we go.
There you go. Something that makes you want to buy something is when it's on sale.
When it's on sale.
Ooh, good one.
When it's on sale, that's a good one. Very good.
And then we have another class that just joined us, Helis, Miss Helis class. Welcome. They have their hand up. Do you have an answer?
Hello. Yes. How are you? This is Mr. Helis. I do have a student that has an answer.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Helis. Let's hear it.
No problem. I have a gender neutral name.
Wonderful.
He's coming to give us an answer.
Okay. Mr. Helis, what school are you from, and what
We're
grade?
from St. Stephen Middle School.
Great. And grade?
7.
Grade 7. Wonderful. Okay.
Here's Braden with his answer.
Okay, Braden.
When somebody else has something.
Great.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep, that's a great answer. What else? What influences you? What makes you want to go shopping? Those were 2 great answers. Something's on sale. Somebody else has something. I always think of Apple products. I like Apple products. So it seems Apple's always coming out with something new, and they announce the new iPad and I want to go and get it. Okay. They make it such a big deal, and you've got to have it. It's something you need. What else? What else could influence you to buy something?
Madame Legier's class.
When you have money that's burning a hole in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Great answer.
usually after a birthday maybe or a holiday, you get a little bit of money as some gifts and you got to get to the mall or you got to get to the store.
Sure.
Those
I
are all
I
really
go
great answers.
shopping. I go shopping around holidays, so I have to go shopping soon because Christmas is coming and it's sneaking up on me.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So when we talk about, I think the first student that came up, stuff is on sale. So I did a little bit of holiday shopping over the weekend because there was a sale on. So I thought, okay, I can get it all done, or for the most part, all done at a good price. So those are all really, really great answers as to what would influence you or why you would want to buy something. So we talked about it being on sale. We talked about you just simply having money and wanting to spend it. We talked about because somebody else has it or there's an occasion to go shopping. All of those are super, super great answers as to why you would want to go shopping or what influences you. So now that, yeah,
Sorry, really quick.
that's okay.
Madame Dempster's class had a great one. They
Oh,
said
good.
when there is something new or an activity that you want to try, a new activity.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
great
a
idea.
really good one.
Yeah.
I love
Perfect.
that. Yeah, new I guess escape rooms are kind of cool. I know we've done that before. You can go and do an activity. You can go to the mall and go to the movies. There's all kinds of stuff. Maybe, we talk about activities. There's a movie out that you want to see. I know the new Black Panther movie's coming out and everybody's going to want to go see that. So everybody's going to be going to the movies to see that. It's going to be great.
Mr. Gila's class, Xander from St. Stephen Middle School says, when I see something in a commercial, yes, marketing will get you.
Yes. Yep. Marketing 101 there. I love it. That's great. So now that we kind of have discussed what influences you to go shopping or what makes you want to go shopping, we all shop. It's just the way of the world. We all have to buy stuff. But what I want to talk about today is being a smart shopper. Okay. So you'll see on the slide deck here that we've used the word smart and we've made some words that go along with it to help you become a smart shopper. So we're going to go through these. We're going to have some discussions and I want to hear from the students that are here with us today. So the first one, S, is to stop and think. Okay. This is a time where you'll stop and think about making a consumer decision. Sometimes this step could take just a few seconds or a few minutes. Other times it could take much longer. And that would depend on the type of purchase that you're going to make. If you're going to the store to get milk or something like that. That's a quick stop and think. What milk am I going to get? But let's say you want to get a new iPad. That's a big ticket item, a big purchase, an expensive purchase. You may want to think about that and, what would make you want to buy that. So what are some of the things that should make you stop and think before you make a purchase? What would make you stop and think? And it could be something that maybe you stop for a short period of time or something that you stop for a long period of time. What is something you could stop and think about?
Miss Sanders' class has their hand up. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We have a student from Campobello Island Consolidated.
Okay.
We have grade 6 and 7 here, and one of the students wants to talk about something that would make her stop and think.
Okay.
Awesome.
Hi.
If you have enough money.
So good.
Yes, you have to think about how much it costs. That's very good. That would make you stop and think.
Madame Dempster's class says, do I really need this? And Madame Legier's class says, if the item is a want or a need. Really good.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good answers. Wants and needs, that's a whole other kind of animal that we could talk about and, what are the differences? But these are very, very good answers. I love this. So let's talk about M, okay? M, make a plan. So you've stopped and you thought about it. You say, yes, I want to buy it, okay? What is M? So M is make a plan. So at this point, you want to consider what are your options? What are your purchasing options? You'll have to figure out what information is needed, how you will get it, and then when the decision needs to be made. Okay. So what kind of information could you be looking for? And why is this information important? Why would you need to know where to buy it, how to get it, or when that decision needs to be made? Okay, what kind of things would you be thinking about there? So what information is needed about how you were going to buy it? Is there just one store that sells this item? Are there multiple stores that sell this item? What information could you possibly need? And why is this information important? Why would we want to make a plan? It's a hard one.
Hmm. I will say for me, I like to shop around and look at different prices. So I'll look at the price of something online. I'll see if it's maybe cheaper in a store.
Yep.
That's something that I do.
Yep, that's very good. Look for the
And
coupon codes online.
Madame Legier's class has a great one. They said, how are we going to save money to reach our goals? So having a goal.
Yeah, I love
that's a
that.
plan.
That's so good. That's really, really good. So that's a hard one where you kind of are making a plan to purchase. And it's probably not something that you think about when you're going to go buy something. So you've got to figure out the things like, where am I going to get it? Am I going to shop around for it? And when does this decision need to be made? Do I need the iPad right now? Or could I wait a couple of months, save a little bit of money, and then get it? Okay, so there's all kinds of things to be thinking about. So let's go on to A, ask questions. Asking questions is really going to help you to make a better decision. Okay, what kind of questions would you ask yourself when you're thinking about buying something? Okay, what kind of questions would you ask yourself? Or maybe what kind of questions would you ask somebody else? Okay, and maybe we can think about, let's say we want to buy an iPad. Let's give this an example. We want to buy an iPad. What kind of questions do you want to ask before you buy the iPad? What kind of questions?
Looks like Mr. Healis' class is writing an answer. Does it work well? Great one.
That's a really good one. I always look at reviews. When I'm going to buy something online, the reviews is one of the first places I go to.
Madame Dempster's class is typing an answer here.
Awesome.
Will I continue to use this? Okay, so that one is, yeah, sometimes we have a lot of hot ticket items that we think we need, but then it sits in our closet, right? And we don't use it. So that's a great one. And is it worth the price? And then we have Miss Sanders' class is also writing an answer. And Madame Legier, do I have enough money? The make and the model, do some research.
Very good.
Miss Sanders' class says, can I buy it somewhere cheaper?
Awesome.
Wow.
This is awesome. These are always really, really great questions to ask. And I love that you are already in the know about these kinds of things. This is awesome. Those are all perfect questions to ask. So now that we've stopped and thought about it, we've kind of made a plan, we've asked the questions that we want. Now it's time to review all the information that we got. So taking the opportunity to review the information, maybe with your parents, maybe with your friends or your teacher, review all that information. That will help you make a better decision. So who could help you review this decision? Who could help you and review all the information that you've collected? So you've asked the questions, you've thought about where you're going to buy it. Who could help you kind of look over all this to make sure you haven't forgotten something?
Madame Dempster's class, talk with your parents. Great one.
That's a perfect one. A great answer. Talk with your parents.
Mrs. Sanders' class, we have some fast typers here. Look at the reviews. Oh, Madame Dempster says, look at the reviews, 5 stars, for example. And then Miss Sanders' class is saying something here. as well. They were.
This
Maybe
is
change
very
them
good.
all.
So there's
Yeah.
lots of people that you could talk to. One of the ones that maybe you wouldn't think of is to actually go to the store and talk to somebody that works there. So you could go to, I don't think we have any Apple stores here, but if you're going to buy that iPad, they're very knowledgeable in the products that they sell. So you could go and talk to them about it. Get all the information that you need. Okay. Very good. Love this. And then the last one, T, is to take action. So now we want to decide what payment we're going to use. So are we going to use cash? Are we going to use our debit card? Are we going to use an online store? And then one thing that you'll have to figure out too, or make sure you keep, is the receipt. You want to keep that receipt just in case something happens. You've got to be able to keep the receipt to show that you purchased it. So those are kind of being a smart shopper. Those are the things that you need to keep in mind. It's a good little step-by-step process when you're thinking about making a purchase. So you'll want to stop and think, make a plan, ask questions, review that information that you collected, and then you're going to take action. Okay, and you're going to go out and you're going to buy that item. Okay, hopefully, so I've got a little video here. Hopefully the sound will work.
Whether it's buying shoes, managing bank accounts, or just connecting with friends, most of us depend on websites. Unfortunately, it's easy to be fooled by fake websites that are designed to give your money or private information to criminals. Thankfully, it's now easier to know when a website is secure. When you need to use a website to make a purchase or provide sensitive information, there are two big things to think about. The first is the connection from your computer to the company's computer. Your name, credit card information, and other things have to travel from one to the other. This connection needs to be secure so that criminals can't access the information en route. The second is knowing that you're working with a company you trust. If you're working with a company you trust using a secure connection, your information is safe. But how do you know? Knowing what to look for in a browser is a big step to using secure websites. Let's consider the connection we mentioned earlier. Secure websites encrypt information before sending it between computers. This makes the information completely unreadable for criminals. Only the computer on the other end can read it, making the connection secure. There are two big ways to tell if the connection is a secure one. First is the address bar, where you're used to seeing HTTP. Secure websites have an address that starts with HTTPS for secure. You can also look for a padlock icon in the browser. If you see the S and padlock, the connection is encrypted and secure. But what about the organization behind the website? How do we know it's not a criminal with a secure connection? Well, a new system makes this easy. New web browsers display color and company names in the address bar that help you know the site is trustworthy. It works like this. Organizations that depend on security can have their websites reviewed and validated by licensed, unbiased companies called certificate authorities. These rigorous reviews ensure the organization and website are trustworthy and using a secure connection. If the tests are passed, the site is issued an EV SSL certificate, and only sites with these certificates display color in the address bar, including the company name, along with the address. Green means go, red means stop. This review process means criminals can't obtain the certificate that's required to display the colorful information. So when you see a site with green info in the address bar, you can be sure it's legit. Now, if you're reading the news or checking the weather, security doesn't matter as much, so don't be concerned if you don't see the green bar or security information. Security matters most when you send sensitive information like credit card numbers, passwords, and private info over the internet. If you're about to make a purchase, your browser holds the clues. Look for the S in the address and the padlock to make sure it's secure. And if you're concerned that the site could be a scam, look for the green information. With these things in place, you can feel confident that your information is safe and secure.
Perfect. So hopefully the sound worked. It worked on my end. But I wanted to show that video just because we live in a very much an online world. We're here online, especially in the last couple of years. Everything has been online. So I wanted to show that video just so that you start to think about being a safe online shopper and making sure that your information is secure in where you're putting it and where you're sending it. So to wrap up our activity, I really want to take the knowledge that we learned in the first half of this presentation, the first 3/4 of it. I want to put it to the test. So what I want to do is I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, this is a purchase scenario. And we're going to go through those smart shopping, that smart shopping acronym. Okay. And we're going to answer the questions and we're going to see, how we would go about making that purchase. Okay. So the first one, scenario number 1, you want to buy a tablet. You and your friend go to a store to check out the best deals. You don't know much about the newest tablets, but your friend has one and she likes it. The salesperson tries to talk you into buying a different tablet than the one your friend recommends. This one costs a little bit more, but the in-store promotion includes a free digital watch. What do you do? Okay, so you want to buy a tablet. Your friend has one and she likes it, but the salesperson at the store is trying to talk you into buying a different one than your friend has. This one does cost a little bit more, but it includes the free digital watch. What do you do? So if I go back to our smart shopper, what do we want to do? What are the things that we would maybe have to stop and think about? What do we stop and think about in this situation?
Any ideas? Mr. Helis's class is typing an answer here.
Some?
The price difference between the two.
Yes.
And oh, sorry, that was Madame Mary's class. Welcome. She was able to join. And
Awesome.
Mr. Helis' class says research the digital watch, see if you like it, and then make your decision. Excellent.
Very good. Very good. I love that. So you've got to do research. Now you don't just have to do research on the tablet that you want, but now the salesperson has thrown a whole other kind of wrench into the plan in the digital watch. So is the digital watch something that you need? Or is it something that you want? Is it worth it? Now you have to do some research there. Very good.
Madame Legier's class says, is the watch worth the extra money, or do we even need a watch?
Very good. Awesome. Those are great answers, because like we said in this scenario is that the tablet that they're trying to sell you now is more expensive. So it was more than you were kind of planning to pay. You are getting that added benefit of the watch, but is it something that you need? Is it worth that extra money? Very good. Anything else? What else could you do?
Miss Sanders' class is typing an answer.
Awesome.
Do I have the extra money to afford the more expensive option? It's a great question.
That's a very, very good answer. These are all really good answers. So the last part of that question was, what do we do? Okay. And there's not really a right or wrong answer. It's going to depend on what you do as a smart consumer and that research that you do. So very good. I love it. Let's go. Those were very good answers. Let's go to scenario number 2. Okay. Your cousin is taking orders for mega-sized chocolate candy bars, and she wants you to buy one. They cost $5 each, and the money will be used to support school activities. The candy looks a lot like another brand of chocolate bar that is only $3 at the grocery store. What do you do?
So what's different between the two chocolate bars?
Exactly.
What's the difference? Why is one a little bit more than the other, and where does that extra money go to? What's it supporting, I guess? We actually call this scenario social entrepreneurship. There's a word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got somebody that's trying to sell the $5 chocolate bar where the extra money goes to sports school activities, or you could go to the grocery store and buy the same bar or a similar bar for $3. What do? Do you buy the $5 bar or do you buy the $3 bar at the grocery store?
And this one can be a personal preference too, and maybe different for everyone.
Exactly.
I know myself, if I was at the market and I saw two different cupcake stands, and one cupcake stand was supporting the SPCA and one wasn't, I might pay a little bit extra because I really care about that cause, and that's called social entrepreneurship. But someone else might not matter as much. So it's very personal. We have an answer from Madame Legier's class. Hand up.
Great.
Hi, in grade 6 financial literacy here at Forest Hills,
Mhm.
we're talking about the big subject here is giving back. And one thing that we talked about with students is that with giving back to the community is very important, but we are only one person and we can only give to one charity and one charity of our choice. Now, some of the students said that school sports is their charity, so that they would pay the $5 and that they would do it. But other students have chosen the SPCA and other things, and they said that they would go to the grocery store and do the $3 because that's not their charity that they're going to give to. They're only one person, and there's other people in the world that could give to those charities. That's
Great answer.
That's
Great
a great
answer.
answer. Yeah, I love that. Very good. And I love that you're having these conversations in the classroom too. This is great. So it is a personal preference. Maybe in this particular time of year, you don't have the extra money to spend. Maybe if it was a different time of year, you might. As Ms. Legier's class said, you know, maybe the sports or the school activities isn't something that you want to support. So you would go to the grocery store and maybe wait and see what else comes up. Great answers. I love this. Let's see here. I think I have one. Yes, I have one more. Okay, last one. So you got a job painting your neighbor's fence. You have to buy the paint. The white paint she requested is $50 a gallon. The salesman says there's a cheaper branch of paint that sells for $24 a gallon, but it will take 2 coats. What do you do? Okay, so the white paint she requested, so the white paint the customer requested is $50 a gallon. But when you go to the store, the salesman says there's a cheaper option for the paint that sells for $24 a gallon, but you need to do 2 coats. What do you do?
Interesting. This requires some math.
It does.
Yeah.
You can almost have to put your entrepreneurial hat on for this one.
This is almost an opportunity cost question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Madame Legier, is your hand up, your class? Maybe it was still up. Okay, perfect. Madame Dempster's class is typing an answer.
So,
These
sorry,
are great.
I could just speak. I'm sorry, I didn't lower my hand.
That's okay.
One thing we're trying to discuss in our class, we're saying time is worth more than money, and we have to think about that as well. So one big discussion that we're having right now is if we buy the $50, and does it save us an hour? Is it worth it? That's the discussion in our class right now.
Perfect. And I'm reading our chat, and it looks like Madame Dempster's and Sanders are along the same line. So Madame Dempster says, is $2 worth the extra time it will take for a second coat? And Sanders' class says, value your time. Painting the second coat is saving $2 worth more than your time. You all kind of hit the nail on the head here. It's time versus money and what's more important. Yeah.
you guys, these are brilliant students. I'm so
I
excited.
think
I love these conversations that they're having. This is awesome.
It's great.
This is perfect.
And Madame Dempster's class also, am I being paid hourly?
That's
Another-
something else that you'd have to think about, right? So you'd have to talk to your customer to kind of work out what your pay is. Maybe it's just a lump sum and she's just going to give you $200 to do it and you spend the money as you see fit, no matter how long it takes. And then the other option would be, okay, maybe she's going to pay you $15 an hour to do it. Okay. Lots to think about in these different scenarios. And I love that you took those SMART consumer acronym that we talked about, and you really started thinking about those different things in those 3 scenarios. So you're so smart. We whipped through that really quickly. That's all I have for you today. Teachers will be reaching out with the full program. And in addition, we've got lots of resources here at JA to support whatever conversations that you're having around financial literacy in your classroom. So thanks for joining us today. And Jill, I'll hand it back to you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Haley, for this lesson. I have posted in the chat for teachers the scavenger hunt activity for my website. Any of these classes have the chance to win a pizza party sponsored by CPA New Brunswick, any pizza place of your choice. So make sure that you complete the scavenger hunt with your teacher. Also, there are more webinars happening this week. Please feel free to join in with your class. It's just kind of jumping in and jumping out as you've seen today. We'd love to have you. There's one this afternoon at 1:30 and then again tomorrow and Thursday at 9 and 1:30. So thank you so much, everyone. And I will send all of the teachers a thank you email and connect you with Haley for her to send you some more resources. So thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.